Yeah, it feels surreal that it's finally here. Um, my mum said, it doesn't happen quickly, but it always happens suddenly. And I'm like, that's exactly how it feels. Nearly 8 months and it's suddenly here. And I'm like, wow, I was almost like caught off guard. But yeah, very, very grateful.
What sort of things have they been doing since they were released from
I've
prison?
seen photographs of them in hospital beds getting checked. I've seen them having full English breakfasts. So they're jumping on that. And I think they're just delighted to be free. And I hear that they're very excited to see their kids and grandkids and great-grandkids, people they've just been wanting to catch up with and wondered if they'd ever see them again. So now the reality sets in.
What have you learned about the conditions in these prisons while they were being held?
So there's the big Policharki maximum security prison with thousands and thousands of inmates, a women's prison and a men's prison, which they were able to share some of those stories and some of the horrific stories there. Of at times my dad described being handcuffed or chained to other criminals. And at one point he had his chest hairs ripped out. He was hit in the head.
I thought it was interesting that as your parents were about to board the flight in Kabul yesterday, they said that they had been treated very well.
Yeah. That is my parents to a T. They always want to honor, they always want to speak well of, they will always find the good versus some kind of a gripe or negativity. Even when my parents would call from a payphone near the beginning in the prison yard, my dad would call me, "Is now a good time?" he would say. And I'm thinking, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, you just woke me up. Of course it's a good time, you're in prison, you know. I'm so glad to hear your voice.
I wonder whether the real tragedy in all this is that they may not be able to return to Afghanistan again.
Well, I definitely said, no, you can't, but out loud when I heard her say that. Everything that they have over life is out there in Afghanistan. All of their wedding photograph albums and photograph albums of the kids, it's a lot. That's all left there. And they're going to have to navigate as they process through the pain and the trauma, the loss and the grief of this. They're going to have to transition to the rebuild of their life.